الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Hello my dear brothers and sisters. Salamun alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we want to talk about doubts in prayer, and specifically those kind of doubts, if you have them, they would invalidate your prayer. So you have to know them and know how to deal with them. First of all, the first type of doubt that if you have, it would invalidate your prayer is doubt in number of rak'ah in 2 rak'ah prayers, like dawn prayer, Fajr prayer, or prayers of a traveler. Because there's only 2 rak'ahs in those prayers, if you have doubts between whether you are in the first or the second, it would make your prayer void. The next type, the next case, is doubt in number of rak'ahs of Maghrib prayer. The other is doubts in 4 rak'ah prayers, but your doubt is about whether or not you are in the first or the second rak'ah. The next case is also in 4 rak'ah prayers, but you are not sure you've done your second rak'ah or more, but you haven't finished your second sajdah. This is also invalidates your prayer. The next one is when you're praying and all of a sudden you can't remember which rak'ah were you doing. You're not sure whether you were in the first one, the second one, third. You don't know anything. This would obviously invalidates your prayer. You don't know what was you saying, where were you being. And the last one is doubts between 2 and 5, 3 and 6, and also 4 and 6 in 4 rak'ah prayers. If you don't know whether you were in the third or 5 or 4th and 5th and 5th and 6th rak'ah, if you're not sure which one is it, because both sides are void, the doubt itself would make your prayer void. So what should we do in prayers when we have doubts? Our scholars say you have to stay where you are. If you're doing tashahhud, if you're seated, sit down, think like 5-10 seconds, because it won't ruin your prayer. It won't ruin the figure of prayer, because you're sitting and thinking, and don't make it too long. So if someone sees you and says this person isn't praying, he's sitting and thinking, and try to remember where were you. And if it didn't help and you couldn't remember anything, you have certain duties to do. If the doubt you're having is invalidate kind, your prayer is void. You have to redo your prayer. If it's not, in some cases we have some explanations to that explain us what's our duty. For example, if we are having doubts between 2 and 3, or 2 and 4, 3 and 4, these all have their specific situation. So when you have doubts in prayer, sit, or I don't know, if you're standing, stand up, just think about it, try to remember where were you. You don't have to rush to anything exactly at the time you're having doubts. So after that being said, we'll move on to valid doubts, and by that I mean the kind of doubts that you have a getaway. The Sharia have told you somehow to get rid of that doubt and do something so you can finish your prayer. For example, if you have doubts in your 4 rak'ah prayers, these are all about 4 rak'ah prayers. If you have doubts between 2 and 3 after second sajdah, you assume that you were doing your 3rd rak'ah, so you finish your 3rd because it's after second sajdah, you stand up, you do another rak'ah, which would be your 4th rak'ah, you finish your prayer because it's your 4th rak'ah, and after prayer you do 1 rak'ah of percussion prayer. What is a percussion prayer? In case like this, that you are not sure which rak'ah are you doing, Sharia has told us that assume you were in a specific rak'ah, and even though it might not be the rak'ah you were doing before doubt, Sharia have let us to somehow get away from our doubt by doing percussion prayer. So if you were not doing your 3rd rak'ah and you were doing your 2nd rak'ah, that percussion prayer would fix the problem. And if you were in your 3rd rak'ah, that percussion prayer, it's nothing, because it's not a part, an element of, it's not essential to your prayer. You're doing it to fix a possibility of an error. So next case of valid doubt will explain it more to you. You have doubts between 2 and 4. Again, it's a 4 rak'ah prayers. You have doubts between 2 and 4. So what do? We assume that we were doing our 4th rak'ah, and because it's after the 2nd sajdah, we don't have anything else to do. And what we do is that we finish our prayer and then do 2 rak'ahs of percussion prayer, and these 2 rak'ah will fix and somehow fit in with those possible forgotten 2 rak'ahs. And this is how we get away from that doubt. We'll continue on valid doubts on the next session, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.